Welcome inside the CAS studios. This is the 5th edition of the Kean Sports Show with John and Richard Zeller. John Mastice, Richard Zeller here. How you doing today, partner?
Awesome, John. I'm excited. We're doing another week here, Kean Sports. We're getting towards the end of the regular season for a lot of these teams. It's Halloween. John is not in a costume for anyone who cared about that. I do.
Neither is Rob, so don't blame me.
Yeah, you got to get in the spirit.
Well, I love Halloween more than the person next to me. So,
did you bring at least candy for us?
I have to get candy for everyone in the press box because I promised them it. So it would probably sound pretty weird if I walked in empty-handed.
They're gonna knock on the booth, trick or treat.
Yeah, it would probably sound really weird. So, big week in sports. We're going to start with volleyball today because that game was insane on Tuesday. And then we'll preview their NJAC tournament. But, yeah, let's go ahead. So, Kean hosted Stockton on Tuesday night. Stockton came in with a 19-game win streak, and the gym was insane. Now, Richard wasn't there, but I was there with Kevin calling the game, and just probably the most insane atmosphere I've called a game in all fall season long. I mean, you could tell everyone knew that it was a big game. Now, the implications probably weren't there because Kean and Stockton were basically locked into their seedings for the NJAC tournament, but obviously Stockton wanted to get to 20, and they went up 2-0. It didn't look good, even though the first two sets were closely contested, 25-23 each. But after that, Kean mounted the comeback. 25-16 the next two sets were, and then the fifth set was just insane. They win it 15-13. Kean was down 12-10 in the fifth set. They took 5 of the last 6 points to win it. And, Richard, I got to tell you, it was just awesome. It was awesome to call. Best atmosphere, best game to call. Two really, really good teams, and, you know, they might see each other again. Kean has to play Rowan in the first round of the NJAC Rutgers Newark in the first round of the NJAC tournament. Then the other one is Ramapo Montclair. The two byes were Stockton and Rowan. So if Kean wins, they're going to play Rowan, and that would be in Rowan. But Tuesday night, is it Tuesday night, Rob? Tuesday night will be the quarterfinal matchup against Rutgers Newark, and it should be a fun one. I would expect Kean to win. Not just because I hope they win, but because they swept them earlier in the season. But you never know.
But now that you said that, like, that was such a good and fun game to call, now the standard is set so high. How do you go through the rest of the season when they're not all as intense as that?
Well, they're only gonna have. Well, you're gonna
Saturday.
see. Yeah, you're gonna love it, man. You're gonna love it. He's calling his first volleyball games on Saturday. He is going to love it. Yeah, I've loved it so far. I mean, volleyball is such a fun sport to announce, and Tuesday night will be my last game no matter what because they will not have – well, unless something crazy happens on the other side of the bracket, it'll be the last.
So who are some of the hot players I should watch out for on Saturday? Who at the Kean?
Well, you got Kean Ons, Jesse Larkin, obviously, Zoe Strozewski, Brie Calvano, phenomenal setter. The people who get a lot of digs, I would say Courtney Nelson, Amanda DeLeo. These are all big players, and – you know, you're going to be calling those names a lot on Saturday when they host Misericordia and I can't remember the other one. What is it? Brooklyn. So that'll be fun for you. And then Rutgers Newark for me on Tuesday night. Hopefully the gym is packed like it was this week for Stockton. And again, it would probably be the last home game of the season for them on Tuesday unless either Ramapo or Montclair make it to the finals.
Yeah, last time they played Rutgers Newark, the beginning of this month, October 1st, they beat them 3-0 in the series.
Yeah, and then if they win this, they play Rowan, which is their only loss in conference this year, where they went to Rowan. It was in here. I remember. I called the game. They swept them. Kean didn't look their best that night. I don't think that's how the game would go. I mean, obviously it wouldn't shock me Rowan to win again, but I don't think they'll sweep them again. If we get to that point, that's assuming Kean takes care of business against Rutgers Newark, who they obviously have to focus on first. And then on the other side of the bracket, I can't really tell you much about Ramapo or Montclair State. No, I didn't call either games. I didn't see Montclair State or Ramapo this season. I did see Stockton, and they're going to be tough to beat for anyone. And it'll be especially tough for Kean to beat them twice in the season if they, in fact, see him again, especially because the game will be in Galloway, so they would have to go there. Kean's going to have to go to Glassboro first to take care of business. So that's that for NJAC Women's Volleyball. Again, just phenomenal game. I'm trying to see some numbers here. The box score for that game. It was just insane. Rich, don't feel free to add in while I'm trying to look for stats.
No, like I said, I was just trying to learn some more of the players. Obviously, you've been there all season. They haven't taken many losses here, so I'm expecting they should continue that win.
Wow, so Calvano had 45 assists. Wow. All right. Calvano had 45 assists. Jessie Larkin had 18 kills, Kaylin Ross 13, Zoe Shoskursky 11. I feel like Zoe had a lot more kills than 11, but whatever. So that was insane. That was crazy, that game, and came right down to the wire. So let's move on. Field hockey. So you
field hockey. You got the game tonight.
I do have the game tonight against William Patterson. Unfortunately, field hockey lost. Their 17-game win streak came to an end against TCNJ on Saturday afternoon. They lost to now number 1 in the country, TCNJ, 3-2 in overtime. Rich, we talked about this last week. Now, there's nothing to be ashamed of if they lose a close game, and they ended up obviously losing a heartbreaking game. Now, their first game off a loss in a very, very long time. I'm kind of eager to see how they respond. I don't think they'll have issues with William Patterson, but what do you think?
Well, not even about William. Like you said, we were talking about it last week. I think it's a loss, which isn't great, but now you don't got that pressure of maintaining this winning streak and having just that target on your back. You still got a target, but now, the winning streak is not there no more.
Completely.
So now you just kind of have like a fresh start. You get to start another winning streak, hopefully, and go into the playoffs. And even in that loss, they were down 2-0. They came back to tie and then end up losing. I believe it was double overtime. Yeah. So, I mean, they played well. They should go back to playing well. Just one loss, one hiccup. Only second loss of the season. And then get ready for the tournament.
Yeah, both their losses.
And then
top
you have
10 teams.
Belly Reynosa. She was named NJAC Rookie of the Week again.
So
she just continues to win awards, and we'll see how it goes when they get to the tournament.
It's going to be close. Now, I think they're a lock. I wouldn't say lock. I think they're 90% into the NCAA tournament. If you ask Coach LaFrance, she'll tell you otherwise. But they have a great resume that stacks up with basically any other team in the country. They're going to finish against William Patterson tonight. Let's assume they take care of business, go 18-2. That's going to set up Rowan on Wednesday right here at Alumni Stadium. If they win that, they're in. There's no question about that. Even if they lose that game, I still feel like you stack them up against Rowan, who they already beat. The criteria goes head-to-head, and then you got to go strength of schedule. Kean has them in strength of schedule. Common opponent, Kean has them. I don't necessarily think, obviously you want them to win. You want them to win the NJAC, but losing to Rowan, I don't think kills them, but we'll see. Let's just hope they take care of business tonight and against Rowan, and hopefully another shot against TCNJ, because probably another classic they would play. They started down 2-0, and I feel like if they played a full 60 minutes like they did in the second half, they played a great 30 minutes, they probably would have won the game. They even outplayed them in overtime. They outshot them. But Kayla Andrews got him for 3 goals. The conference's leading goal scorer, only one more than Melissa Way. I think if they play again, it'll be another classic, Richard.
Yeah, well, like you said, again, it was a tough team, tough loss. You move on, you start it over, and you get to go into the tournament without that pressure on your back.
Yeah.
Maintaining that winning streak.
Yeah, so.
And then you have senior night tonight, Halloween night, so it should be a fun, good time.
I love Halloween. Yes.
You said you expect a crowd, you know what I'm saying?
Hopefully there's a great crowd, there better be a great crowd for next Wednesday. This team deserves a huge crowd on Wednesday. There's going to be 2 top 10 teams in the country, Rowan and Kean. It's going to be a heck of a matchup to watch, and I can't wait to call it, Richard. I don't know. Are you going to be there Wednesday or probably not?
I have to check the schedule.
Yeah, you'll have to see. But that should be fun.
But it flew by. It's over already. That's crazy, right?
I remember calling.
The season's over. It was just August.
I remember calling the first game. That's updates, right? That's Kean Athletic Updates.
It was Kean Athletic Updates, so shoot me something.
He did the same thing on the broadcast Richard. Hey.
Stop texting me, people.
Yeah, Richard's a popular dude. But yeah, I remember calling games all the way back in the beginning of September. It's just insane that now we're at the end of October and we're got NJACs upon us, NCAAs hopefully upon us, and should be fun to move forward with field hockey.
That's gonna be exciting if we get to call some of those NCAA tournament games.
Yeah, I know. I'm not even gonna comment because I don't even know how it's gonna shake out. They could get a first round bye, and then they go immediately on the road. I mean, I am confident. I think they're in no matter what, but I'm just saying I don't know if they're going to have a home game at the end. Because they could, if they get a first round bye, they could go immediately on the road. If they have to play in the first round, then yeah, we're going to definitely call a game. So I'm just excited for Wednesday. I'm very, very excited. Can you tell?
No.
Why?
Your face is very dry.
Dry?
Your voice goes up, and your face remains the same. You gotta crack a smile or something. Show some excitement in your face. Stand up. Pump your fist in the air. Like some body emotion. Come on, man. No, I said you're excited, I guess, because you told me.
Okay. All right.
But either the way, you're going to call a great game as you've done all season, and I am excited. So even if I won't be there, I will check it out and support you from the sidelines. Cool and if they're giving out stuff, I'll definitely be in the stands.
Yeah, of course. Cool stuff. All right.
Like how awesome was that? They gave out the a semester's worth of, I guess, free tuition.
They gave out AirPods
at the football game.
They also gave out AirPods.
So if you had your choice, whether it was the MacBook Pro, was it AirPods was the second one? There was 3 gifts. One was the MacBook. I'm talking about the football game.
What was it?
Football game at homecoming where they gave away.
What were they giving out?
The semester of free tuition.
Yeah, I'll take that. Thanks.
A MacBook Pro.
Well, I'm graduating, so.
Yeah, I think it was. Damn, it was the third thing. Oh, parking. A reserved parking spot for.
Oh, that's insane. Oh, all right. Now I got to reconsider.
So which one would you choose?
Yeah, people know how important parking is at this school. Wow. Parking is definitely. I mean, if I was still at school, obviously I would have to take the free tuition. Who the heck's going to take the parking spot?
Some awesome gifts though at homecoming.
Yeah.
It was an okay game, but
they were giving
the halftime was awesome.
Yeah, we're going to get to that soon on the game. But they were giving away AirPods on Tuesday night at the volleyball game.
So school's just giving away everything.
Yeah, but they gave them. When did they give them away? I think they gave them away at the end of the second set when they were down 2-0. I'm telling you right now, Richard, nobody left. Nobody left that arena. Sure, the people were there for AirPods, but they were not there mainly for the AirPods. They were there for the game because they were down 2-0 when they were handing them out, or 0-2. They stayed there. Kean won 3 straight sets. Just saying. They were not there for AirPods. They were there to see Kean win, and they got it. So let's move on to football because that was just brutal on Saturday.
Yeah. It's homecoming, too. You hope to win. Maybe you schedule a weaker opponent, maybe? Just to help
I
guess
crowd. That's just how it falls, but because I guess NJAC makes the schedule, so you can't really do anything about it. But, yeah, Salisbury came in here 10th in the country. I mean, I guess I wouldn't expect Kean to win, but 65-16, that was a tough one to call, Richard. And Kean looked good early. I mean, early on. It wasn't bad. It was like 7-3 with like 2 minutes left in the first. And then I think we were talking about it on the broadcast. After the fumble and the return by the Seagulls, it was downhill from there for Kean. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah. So they came out, they scored. Kean was shut down, and then turned it over. And the next 2 drives by Salisbury, Kean shut them down.
Mm-hmm.
The defense was looking good. Offense got the ball. Broccoli fumbles it. And from there, it was just a go for Salisbury.
Yeah. Was it Broccoli? I can't remember.
I thought it was the handoff.
It was something with the hand. It might have been. It might have gone down as his fumble.
Regardless, though, there was a fumble, and that was the moment from there.
Yeah.
It just seemed Salisbury took off.
Yeah, Logan Matthews hit a field goal to make it 7-3. I was like, all right, here we go. We're going to fight. And then, boy, it was 38,
I don't even know what you say about that game.
38-3 by halftime. I mean, there's not much to say. You played a great opponent. You move on to William Patterson, which I'll have to call on Saturday. I'm excited to see if Coach Garrett can have his boys bounce back, and I'm sure he's doing everything in his power this week to get him there. That's basically what you got to do after this game, right?
I guess we got to see Tyree Taylor make some couple good drives.
Yeah, Tyree looked good. expect him to get a lot more. I mean, maybe not a lot more, but expect him to keep seeing playing time. And who knows? I mean, he took. I'm sure they just wanted to see him work because once the game was out of reach, there's no point in playing your starting quarterback with Anthony. So I'm going to put Tyree in there.
So what would you say, I guess the strength and the silver lining for Kean that day was the special teams returning?
Oh, yeah, definitely. They had some
that was about the only thing that was really working that.
Jamison had some really, really good returns. So did Paris Crawford had one. I don't know how Salisbury dominated every set of the game, but just forgot to cover kick returns. That was kind of weird because every time, and that's the worst part though for Kean. They put up 16 points. They started on like their average starting field position had to be somewhere between the 35 and 45 yard line. That's the worst part about this because the special teams put them in great position to put up points. Now, obviously, you're not going to score 65. They weren't going to win the game anyway, but with that field position, you would expect them to score more than 16 points, Richard.
And I don't even know if you even count the 16.
The drive chart.
What?
Look at the drive chart. There's a drive chart.
Oh, it's in the drive chart. Okay.
And I don't even know if you consider the 16 because by the time they scored those last 2 touchdowns, it was just at the end of the game anyway. And Salisbury already was up 50 points.
Okay. This is where Kean started at. Let's see. Is this right? I got that right? Yeah. Drive ended. This is where the drive started. At their own 34, own 38, own 20, own 22, own 47, own 30, 35, 28, Salisbury 42, 27, 13, 28. That has to average somewhere, but do they have the average on here? No, I don't think they do. But that sounds like it had to average somewhere between the 35, 45 yard line. I'm sorry, you got to put up more than 16 points, Richard. That's just the special teams did their job. Dante Jamison, Paris Crawford, good stuff from them. Good stuff.
It was just unfortunate game. Salisbury had a fumble return touchdown, an interception touchdown, pass touchdown, rush down. They were like inches away, a few yards away from having a return touchdown. Whatever they wanted to do that day, they did. They had 13 players with rushing attempts. So it's just a tough game. Jack Lanham, the quarterback, had only 4 completions, 2 of them for touchdowns.
Yeah, he had 4 completions, 100 yards, and 2 touchdowns. That's something.
It's just a disappointing season. Again, I don't know what Kean does from this point.
At least
they got 2 wins this season, so they got more wins than last season. They can salvage it. They still got William Patterson, Wesley, and Montclair. 2 of those are winnable games for me, I feel like. Wesley's obviously going to be very tough. But you can beat you can definitely beat William Patterson, and if you play good, you'll have a chance against Montclair, I think, anyway. So I don't think it's disappointing. If you could get the 4 wins, I think that's a heck of a turnaround from 1 win. So, I mean, I'm looking at this Salisbury rushing box score here. Look at all these people that rush for like over 20 yards. It's insane. I mean, I know they run the option, and then you were talking about the silver lining for this game. Tyree Taylor. So good numbers throwing the ball, which he's not really, known for. We know he could throw the ball, but he's definitely more known for rushing. 7 for 9, 123 yards and a touchdown, Richard. That's something to, that's eye-opening for me, isn't it? John, it just...
What do you want me to... You were the one who mentioned it, dude.
Yeah, no, I'm saying the kick returning was everything for them, you know what I'm saying?
I was talking about Tyree.
Oh, Tyree, yeah. Tyree he came in towards the end of the game when the defense was already kind of chilling.
7 for 9.
Laid back.
But still, 7 for 9.
I don't know how much you count all that.
You have to count it a little.
But at that point, it was third stringers in. Second and third stringers.
I could tell you that Salisbury.
But it is good for him because he got some game speed action coming off.
That's
coming
obvious.
Injury.
I could tell you Salisbury had their starters in midway through the third. I can't remember the exact time where they took the starters out on defense, but I was calling starters' names through the third quarter. I can't remember when Tyree got all this stuff going, but he also had
that fumble we were talking about earlier, it was by Asari, not Broccoli. So
yeah, I couldn't remember either. I just didn't know if it was Broccoli, so it was Asari.
But then again, I can't. I understand that you were saying anything about Tyree Taylor, but to me, second, third stringers, it's good for him again because he got opportunities, he got game speed. Mm-hmm. It's good, to work out his arm and got to run around.
He did have both touchdowns, by the way, because the other one he ran in and then he threw one. I think obviously it's good experience, but you're probably
it's almost
right.
throwaway stats at that point.
Yeah, yes. So Salisbury goes to 6-0, number 10 in the country. Kean drops to 2-5. They got William Patterson this week. William Patterson, on the other hand, is, I want to say, 2-5 as well. Let me pull it up real quick. I just had it up. They are 2-5 and 0-4 in conference. This is a winnable game, Richard. I mean, you're going to have the home crowd. It's going to be a little colder. Hopefully that plays in favor of the defense.
Senior day.
It's senior day. Gotta get that win, bro.
I think you got to get a win. Again, I'm glad I'm none of those players. I'm sure coaches were on them all week after that game.
Yeah.
So I'm sure they're going to come into this game motivated.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I caught a couple into the practices. They were running hard like usual, so they'll be prepared, but can they execute? I do not question Coach Garrett having them prepared. I see how hard they work. They're prepared every week, but can they execute? That's gonna be what it comes down to, Richard. And we'll see. You can watch it or go there. If you can't make it, watch it on caneathletics.com. 1:00 Saturday afternoon. I'll be on the call, all alone in the booth. That kind of makes me sad, but you deal. Let's go to women's soccer, and then we got tennis interviews. But let's go to women's soccer. Tough ending last night. Me and Rich had the call. Rich and I had the call. They finished the season 8-9-1, so I don't even think they can make ECACs. And all they had to do the last two games was win one of them, and they dropped the game to Rutgers North 2-1 in overtime, and then they lost to Montclair last night 2-1. Rich, what did you see out of them last night?
Nothing.
No.
I mean, remember we were talking about at the beginning of the game. They were feeling each other out. There wasn't much aggressiveness coming from Kean. Kean's only scored a game came from the penalty kick from Abdul, where they got lucky.
Great shot.
Where Rich got tripped up as she was running towards the net.
Yeah, it was a bad mistake by Montclair.
But Montclair pretty much controlled the ball throughout. They scored 15 minutes into the first half, and then they scored, obviously. In the second half, both those goals coming from DeGator.
Yeah, one in the first, one in the second.
We were saying all game, Montclair controlled it. We thought in the second half, Kean would come out more aggressive, and it looked like they did for a little bit, but then it fell back into the rhythm they had in the first half. And we didn't see Torres at all, which was we wonder because she was just named NJAC Offensive Player of the Week.
And she leads the team in goals, assists, and points. So that was my next question. I unless there's something that we don't know about an injury or something, it's kind of odd that she didn't play because she's been, I would say, the best player on the team all season. So it was odd that you didn't see her. So if it ends up like she was injured or just couldn't play, then you understand. But if she was available, it's kind of weird. Again, Kean, I don't know if it would have made a difference because Kean was just dominated. They could not get possession of the ball all night long, and Montclair eventually netted the first goal and then the second goal to win it. And you knew it was coming at some point. It came in the 63rd minute, Emily DeGator got the goal to make it 2-1, and that's where it ended.
Yeah, and there's some things like to go forward, but it was the sad end to many of their careers as seniors. Mm-hmm. So you have Juracek, Kays, Monroy, Abdul, Lewis, McDonald.
Yeah, Juracek really played good this season. I was able to obviously I called a lot of the games, so Juracek was playing a ton of minutes this season. She was really good. Lexi Monroy, very good. Yep.
So, some of those players are a little upset at the end because it is hard to end your career. But, they put up a good season. Obviously, October was a really good month for them. And it turns around, and you got a lot of things going forward to work with.
And we talked about it on the broadcast. This is one of the younger teams at Kean. They have so many freshmen and sophomore. Coach Doherty's done a great job recruiting. I mean, just to name some players, Casaya, Sheedy, Torres, these are really, really good and young players that you can build around for the next 2 to 3 years. He's done a great job recruiting. I think they're going to be good for a couple or 2 or 3 years coming, and he's built a really good program here. I would not be worried if you were wondering if this is going to get worse or better. I think it's going to get better for sure. Obviously, where they really hurt themselves was the loss to Rutgers North. That's a team. Montclair was definitely better than them. Rutgers North was a team that they should have beat. I think they were better than. They lost, and that ended up being the difference. You lost the last 2 games. You end up, 1 or 2 points out of the play. I don't have it up. I didn't have it up, but I think it was 1 or 2 points out. I think it was, yeah. But yeah, I think, 1 or 2 points, I'll say. I don't know for sure. But yeah, still, good building season. A lot to look forward to in the coming season.
Yeah, just a tough way to end the month. You only have one loss throughout the month to end the season on 2 losses when you need just one of them. It hurts, but like as you said, it's one of the younger teams, and you have experience. Especially last night, that was a lot of good experience for the players to be in such an important clutch game. Unfortunately, they didn't win, but now you have something to go forward into next season and build upon.
Terrible weather last night too. I mean, this entire week has been awful weather, and that wasn't fun to call it in that game. But yeah, tough loss there. So this week, we did some interviews with tennis, me and Rob. Well, Rob sat in and just watched me. But Coach Valenti was nice enough to let me interview 3 of her players. And one was, all right, I don't want to get the names. I honestly can't remember who I interviewed. I know the first names, but I want to say the whole name. So let me just look it up. Richard, what are you doing?
I'm waiting for you to play these
Okay,
interviews.
all right, stop. All right, one was Anna Chan. The other was Wilmeris Matias, and Nicole Nin. And, of course, Jodi Valenti was nice enough to let me interview her players. So take a listen. They had a really, really good season. 10 wins, which was, I think, the new record for her at the program in a single season. So that was really cool. And take a listen. The week once, how does this success in your first season help you going forward and leading this team into the future?
It was an honor to receive such an amazing award. This was a very big accomplishment for me as a freshman. It was a huge growth from the beginning of my season. I started off a little slow, but then I picked things back up and I got into the groove of things being a freshman. Moving forward, I know I could be a great role model to incoming freshmen who would like to join the team. And I'm very excited to improve and have more fun during our spring season.
You played some doubles with Anna this season, going 3-1 in those matches. What's it been like playing alongside her?
Playing with Anna is honestly so much fun. She's our #1 player, so at first I was a little scared. But together we were a great team, and we had a tough match, and she would always make sure to comfort me and get me going, and I made sure I did the same for her. And it was overall just a great time.
Thanks, Wilmeris. Nicole, what's it been like playing doubles with Samantha, who was only a freshman, but you were able to go 5-1 playing with her?
Playing with the freshman Sam was a great experience as a junior. She's technically advanced and has a great mindset as well as skills and determination. I can already tell by her first season that she's going to be a great leader within the 3 years of her collegiate tennis. Sam is also a great asset to the team.
What made you want to come to Kean to play tennis with Coach Valenti?
I came to Kean not only because of the tennis team, but also the great program that we have here. And I knew as soon as I came onto the campus that there was such a friendly environment, and the atmosphere was just something that I didn't find in any other college I was looking at. And Jodi also showed that she cared so much by always texting us and checking in, making sure if we need any help with registration, and it definitely stood out to me.
Give me a sense, what's it been like playing under Coach Valenti for 3 years? You have 1 left. Tell me about her passion for the sport here at Kean.
So Jodi is by far the best coach and trainer I've ever had within high school and my younger years. She's always willing to help out, whatever it may be. She always comes in with the same great attitude, and she's very encouraging and always wants the best for her players. On and off the court, she's a great role model and a coach. Her love for tennis rubs off on all the players, and it shows to other coaches as well. She works exceptionally hard to schedule matches that will not only better our performance, but also challenge us.
Thanks, Nicole. Coach, at one point your team was 6-6, but you ended the season with a 5-match win streak. What seemed to be working for the women at the end of the season?
Well, I think what helped us gain that 5-match winning streak was that they earned a great deal of confidence. They worked hard. I was tough on them in the beginning. And I think it took a little time for the freshmen, especially to adjust to the collegiate tennis, because in high school they may be used to playing like one position, but here they had to take on the role of playing both singles and doubles. So I would say with hard work, they gained a great deal of confidence.
What's the future hold for Kean tennis against these top-end jacked opponents like a TCNJ or Stockton? Do you see your team being able to compete with them in the upcoming years?
Well, starting with TCNJ, they're a nationally ranked team, very strong team, but hopefully if we continue to bring in a great deal of talented recruits, hopefully we can get up to their par. I'm talking just with TCNJ. As far as Stockton with this season, if we went in with a full lineup, we would have had a much better chance. I mean, sometimes the score in tennis of a 9-0 doesn't set the exact way the match actually went. But yeah, if we went in with a strong lineup, we did lose one of our better players to an injury, so everyone had to step up, and the freshmen as well as the underclassmen did a great job in doing that. So I think with hard work from the underclassmen, we can definitely hang with Stockton, Ramapo, any of the other NJAC teams.
Who's really stepped up and impressed you this season that you view as a key piece going forward here at the program?
I would have to honestly say, I know I mentioned the word freshman, Wilmeris stepped up big time. Samantha Lou stepped up big time in a sense of, if there were 3 or 4, they might have had to play 2-1 match for us and get us the W in both singles and doubles. So overall, I'd say Wilmeris, Nicole, Jada, Jan, when she was in the lineup. Anna was a great leader for us. Sneha came in, who wasn't a starting player, but the last few matches got us a few W's. So overall, I'd say the freshman class as well as the underclassmen.
So, Anna, recap the last 4 seasons for me playing at Kean University.
So when I first started out as a freshman, I was actually very shocked that I played. I thought coming in that I wasn't going to be a starter, but it turned out that I was going to be a starter, and I played fifth singles and second doubles for the first 2 years, and then once all the seniors left, I was actually bumped up to first singles and first doubles. So playing for Kean those 4 years, I gained so much experience playing. I gained so much leadership and responsibilities from playing. My last 2 years, I've been the captain, and overall, it's made me become a better leader as an individual. So, yeah.
Do you have a favorite moment at Kean from the last 4 years?
My favorite moment at Kean was, I guess, we took the trip to Maryland 2 years ago. It was our first big trip with the whole team. We got to stay down in Maryland for the weekend, just to share a room with the girls and share the experience of busting down, essentially, and spending the night. It was just a great experience.
What have you done to help Wilmeris, Jada, Nicole develop over their time here at Kean? All 3 have won weekly awards and improved their games tremendously.
So as a tennis player, it's very important to keep your composure on the court. At any given moment, you can have your opponent distract you, make you angry, get you frustrated. So as you're playing, it's important to keep your anxiety levels down, to keep your frustration and anger down. And to continue to persevere and play your game and make your shots. Don't let anyone else judge you while you're playing.
All right. Once again, we want to thank the women's tennis team, Anna Chan, Wilmeris, Matias, Nicole Nin, and Jodi Valenti for taking the time sitting down with us. They had a really good season this year. They went 11-6. They broke Jodi broke the school record for the most wins in a single season. Well, the team did, I should say. And so they had a successful season. I don't know why it says they have. I guess they played one game in March. Spring.
There's a spring season also.
They only have one game in the spring?
As of now, yeah.
Oh, that's weird. Okay. But yeah, 11 wins. That's really good. They ended on a 5-game win streak. That's really cool. 2-4 in conference. Improving. Obviously, TCNJ is really good. Stockton, they feel like they can compete with in years to come, as Jodi said, Coach Valenti said. So, yeah, definitely stuff to look forward to for tennis. And again, we want to thank the players and Coach Valenti for sitting down with us and talking. Let's move on to men's soccer, Richard, because men's soccer had an interesting night. I have good news and bad news for you, Richard. Are you ready? What do you want first?
Always the bad news first.
All right. The bad news is they lost to Montclair last night. The good news is they're still made the NJAC tournament as the 5 seed. They're going to be playing Rowan, who they beat earlier in the season. Rowan is 9-4-3. Kean is 9-6-3. But last night, Kean dropped the game at Montclair 1-0. Couldn't get a goal, but how the standings played out, they were able to get into the playoffs as the 5 seed, Stockton the 11 seed. Rutgers Newark finished 1 point below them, and then the loss by TCNJ to Rowan was basically the one that helped Kean get into the playoff, because if TCNJ had beat Rowan, TCNJ would have been at 13 points, and they still would have been in, apparently, right? Yeah, they still would have been in. So they were in no matter what. So that's good to see. But, yeah, Kean losing, but still in, Richard.
Good. Congratulations, they're in. They didn't make it easy for themselves. The last 5 only coming away with 1 win. But at the end of the day, once you're in the tournament, slates are wiped clean, and you have a chance to see how far you could go.
And
the regular season doesn't matter no more.
Yeah, Rowan was ranked. I don't know if they're still ranked, but, they beat Rowan earlier in the season, so they know they can beat them even if they have to go to Rowan to play it, which they will. That'll be 7:30 p.m. on Saturday, November 2nd. I'm sure you can get a stream on the Rowan website to watch that, but that'll be interesting because they beat them earlier in the season 2-1. If Kean wins that, then they have to go to play the top seed Ramapo, and that will be on Thursday night, Friday night, something like that. And then the championship if they could get that far. So Peter John, congrats to getting your team to the NJAC tournament. That's really cool, and he got his 100th win this season. Combined 100th win, and yeah,
once you're in there, you're in there. So it doesn't matter how you get there, just get there and play hard from there.
Yeah, Max Acosta had a great season for them. I think he had 8 goals, something like that. Here we go, individual. Yeah, Acosta had 8 goals, 18 points. He was really good. He gave a great interview for the show that I'm going to be playing in just a moment. We had Max Acosta, Alex Nicol, and Calvin Carbajal, and of course Coach Falloon. So
you had everybody.
Yeah, kind of. They gave pretty good interviews. Coach Falloon, he's very tight knit, but he was so nervous to give the interview. I don't know why he was so nervous.
You're an intimidating presence,
I'm not
John.
No, I'm not. I don't know why he was nervous, but yeah, take a listen and we'll talk about it after. So Max, you're only a sophomore this season after transferring, but you lead the team in goals, or you lead the team in goals with 8, as we said here today. What seems to be working for you this season?
I think it's more of like the team. We all been working really hard, and everyone working and doing their part. It's making me be able to score and help the team out with some goals.
Who has been one of the players or coaches that has really helped you improve your game this season?
Ever since I joined the team, it's been like a family. Like we're all like brothers. The captains welcomed me really good, and the coaches I already knew from my old school. So it was a family vibe.
Cool. So you really had a phenomenal day last week against William Patterson, netting a hat trick and leading your team to a big 3-2 victory. What was it like on that special day for you?
It was actually 3-0, the victory. Yeah,
3-2.
I was going to say. Yeah.
Go ahead. I'll let it out.
But it was a good team performance, and I was happy to be able to score my first career hat trick with Kean and help my teammates get the important win.
Cool. Thanks, Max. Alex, you started 31 of 33 games since the beginning of last year. What does it mean to you, the trust that Coach Falloon has instilled in you to lead this team right off the bat?
I guess it definitely means a lot, and it helped a lot in the transition, like coming to a new school and a new team. But it definitely helps with like confidence, and then starting is just a reward of how hard the team is working in practice and everything. And I think that's what I try to do every day, is whether or not it's game or practice, just work hard, and makes it easier when the game comes if you're performing well.
Thanks, Alex. You're also one of the leaders on this team. How are you motivating the boys for this upcoming match against Montclair, which has pretty big NJAC implications, or does everyone know the implications around the game?
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone at this point, we know what we have to do. We have to go in and win and get the result so that we can put ourselves in a better position for the playoffs. And we don't want to put it in other teams' hands, like to settle our fate for the rest of the season. But I mean, I guess going about it, like we just know we have to go in there and work hard. And it's kind of been like a trend of the team that if we go and play our game, we'll get the result that we're expected to get. So I think that's basically all.
Thanks, Alex. Calvin, you logged a ton of minutes every game, over 1,500 this season. How great is the training staff and the coaching staff here that helps you prepare for these long games on the pitch, and you're able to run up and down for 110 minutes a game?
Yeah, so the training staff is really helpful and important to us, and also the facility we have here, because after each match we're able to use the whirlpool to recover, and also we have meals before matches and after matches with water, so we're always hydrated and we're ready for the game.
You guys played some pretty talented individuals in the NJAC this season. Montclair's Oscar Sanchez, another one that you're going to be playing, has 12 goals this season. When your group of defenders goes up against these talented individuals, how do you prepare to hone in on one player, or is it kind of you focus on the whole team and you assign one player to Oscar, let's say, for this, or is it you just focus on Oscar? Is that it?
Yeah, so we try not to focus on individual players because it's a team game. So I'm just really confident in my team and everybody here, because once we're all on the same page and we're playing, then I don't think anybody's stopping us, really.
Awesome. Peter John, Coach, when we talked earlier in the season, you talked about finishing games to me, and maybe you were struggling with doing that earlier in the season, but over the last month, your team only has one loss. You seem to be becoming more of a second-half team. You're getting late goals. You had a late goal against Newark the other day that tied it up, and you ended up tying the game. But what seems to be the difference since we've last talked with this team in the second half?
The biggest difference, I don't think there's a big difference. It's just that they seem to play better when their back is against the wall, and they save it for last, which needs to be changed, and start out on the front foot instead of when you're on the back foot, you try to get back on the front foot. So I don't think it's a big change in anything. It's just that they seem to find it and pull it out when their back is against the wall.
You had your 100th win this season, and you told me you didn't even realize that the milestone was coming up. Now that you've had more time to think about it, what does those 100 wins mean to you, and who has helped you in this journey here at Kean to get to 100 wins?
At Kean or overall?
For you, 100 wins.
Oh, well, no. 100 means a lot. Means I must have coached some good players, because without the players I wouldn't be able to get the 100 wins. As players winning games, coaches assist the players to win the games. So it's a privilege to get the 100 wins, because it's a milestone. But I look back at all the players that I've coached, and when you start to single them out, you say to yourself, wait, yeah, that kid was a good player. He was really a good player. And it all comes together, one big puzzle. So it's good, but it was great to coach the players instead.
You were a goalkeeper when you used to play, so tell me how you've helped your goalkeeper, Dylan, improve his game this season, and how do you think his development as a sophomore is coming along?
Well, we have a goalkeeper coach. His name is Brad Watkins. He's a goalkeeper coach. So I really do not try to interfere with what he's doing, but I might give a pointer here or there if it's something I really don't like. Mm-hmm. But I kind of channel it through the goalkeeper coach.
How do you think his development has come along in your eyes, Dylan?
Good. He has improved since he got here.
Mm-hmm.
He has got better at the stuff that I've spoken about, and he's going to continue getting better because he has a good attitude.
Thanks, Coach. Rob? All right. Thanks again to Coach Falloon, Max Acosta, Calvin Carbajal, and Alex Nicol for taking the time for the interviews. All four of them were great. Obviously, they lost to Montclair, but they're in the tournament, and that's the good news. Richard, what do you think of the interviews?
I just think they're a team that's ready to move forward.
Yeah.
Get ready for this tournament now, right? That's the focus.
That is the focus. And I asked Coach about finishing games, which they weren't necessarily doing in the first half of the season. They started to, and then the last, I guess, 3 or so games, they had some issues. So hopefully they can clean it up for the tournament, because that's the beauty of it. Like you said, once you're in, anything can happen. And, well, they already beat Rowan, so we know they could beat them again. It's just about executing, and I'm sure Coach will have his squad ready to go. Yeah, you good? You want to add anything else, or?
I'm just ready for all these tournaments to start.
Yeah.
Now we got to watch it and enjoy the whole regular season for all these sports, clearly. Not as much men's soccer, but we go to school at Kean. So, it's just fun. It's like, it's like the home team.
Just to clarify, I kind of asked Coach Falloon about his 100 wins. I kind of worded it like it was 100 at Kean. It's 100 overall. So, but still, congrats to him, because that's awesome. Let's go back to field hockey real quick, because I forgot to touch on the regional rankings, which didn't really change from last week. Kean's in the South Atlantic. TCNJ stays at 1 because they beat Kean. Kean stays at 2 despite the loss, because they were, right there. Rowan at 3, Messiah 4, Stockton 5, FDU Florham 6, Montclair 7, and Marywood 8. Kean has wins over Rowan, over Stockton, over Montclair, and over Marywood. So it's gonna. I honestly think they're almost locked into that 2 spot, and that's a big criteria for the NCAA tournament. If they assuming they take care of business against William Patterson, win or lose on Wednesday, I just don't see how they're left out, Richard. It
will be a disappointment, John, especially after that win streak, 17 games in a row.
Could you really leave an 18 and let's say they lose their own 18-3 team out of the tournament?
I mean, anything is possible.
Really?
I mean, because what if Rowan wins that tournament, or what if one of these other teams wins that tournament?
You're right. If Rowan wins that tournament, then they get the automatic bid. TCNJ will get the at-large,
and then you got to hope that they
add another team from that region. So you're right. Anything can happen. I would be shocked, but
remember when we first started the season, we talked to the coach, and she was mentioning that how there's plenty of teams in this conference in the NJAC that can make the tournament, but there's only limited slots, and you pretty much got to win every game.
Yeah, it'll be close. It'll be close for Rowan, at least. I think it's clear-cut for Kean, but we'll see.
I mean, it's clear-cut now, but again, like you said,
if
week. TCNJ doesn't win this tournament and Rowan wins it, you don't leave out TCNJ, right? Because TCNJ.
No, you can't leave out TCNJ.
So it might just leave. It might, or they might all get in there. We'll see how it all shakes out, you know?
Yeah, and by the way, TCNJ plays Stockton in the first round, which I don't know if that's going to turn out well for Stockton. But, hey, if Stockton wins, that'd be nice, because then Kean could, instead of
TCNJ could lose in the first round?
It would be shocking for them to lose at Stockton, or against Stockton. It would be insane, actually. Kean stayed at number 9, or they moved up 1 to number 9 in the country. Rowan moved down to 10, so on Wednesday you'll have 2 top teams. Or I guess the rankings will change again by Wednesday, but assuming Rowan and Kean both keep winning, you'll have 2 top 10 teams in the country playing some field hockey at Alumni Stadium. Hopefully the stadium is packed. Richard, I hear you typing. What are you typing over there? You typing up rankings?
Yeah, I'm just looking something up, yeah.
So, yeah, Kean number 9, Rowan 10, and, yeah, field... Oh, volleyball's, what do you mean? Oh, yeah, volleyball rankings. I completely forgot that those came out, too. So let's go to volleyball here. Rankings. D3. Regional rankings. And we'll go down to South Atlantic. We will see. Or is it South? What is it? Oh, New York region, my bad. New York region, you'll see Kean at 7th behind SUNY Genoso. I can never pronounce it. Genoso. Rochester Institute, RIT, New York, NYU, Ithaca, Clarkson, and Stockton. Kean just beat Stockton, who sits at top of the New York region, so that's really cool. I don't think, unfortunately, Kean's going to get an at-large bid. They're going to have to win the NJAC tournament, which they can. They just beat the best team in the conference, so they can definitely win the NJAC. But Richard, I don't think they're going to get an at-large.
We'll have to see what happens, John.
Yeah, we definitely will see. Again, Tuesday, they host Rutgers Newark in the quarterfinals, so that will be interesting to see. Hopefully the gym's packed for that. Let's go on to swimming because swimming is awesome and Chris Swenson is the best. They are still 1-1 because they don't play Montclair till November 5th against Montclair. That is here. That is the opening that's not the opening NJAC game because they lost to Ramapo and they beat Baruch. So Coach Swenson getting his squad ready. That's your swimming update. I see him all the time. He's excited. I wanted to kind of preview basketball, but I don't really know much about it, what's going on. I'm going to do a lot of research this week, and I'm going to try and get an interview with Coach Hutchinson, hopefully, or maybe another coach to get on the show, just, to give a preview because it's coming up. Next Saturday, they host Newman. Me and Richard going to be right on the court doing the game. Rich, are you excited for that, man?
Yeah, basketball is one of my favorite sports, so I've been looking forward to that, honestly.
I know basketball is
baseball.
Yeah, I know basketball is one of your favorite sports, so I know you'd be hyped for that. And
it should be interesting to be right there on the court and call that game.
Yeah, we're going to get
Hopefully we get a good season, right?
Yeah, hopefully. Very young team. I was looking at the roster today. A lot of freshmen and sophomores on the team. I think we only have one senior. And, so that'll be something to look forward to for sure. And women's basketball also around the corner. They will host Lancaster Bible. I just trying to remember the date of the game. Let me get it. I think it's a Friday night. It's Friday, November 15th. So that is a week after Kean hosts Newman on Saturday at 2 o'clock on November 9th. Again, we'll have the call for both of those games, KeanAthletics.com. And I'm running out of things here. Let's go to closing thoughts, Richard. What's on your mind? Are you watching any basketball lately? Because I know you're a big basketball guy. NBA got started. I'm serious.
Yeah, but I'm a Knicks fan, so I don't turn the TV on too often.
Oh boy, yeah.
But it's been exciting. The NBA season it's open. It's more open than it's been. Obviously, a big Steph Curry hand injury, which changes a lot.
That's crazy.
No Kevin Durant, obviously, this season, so you got another superstar at the league. But you got AD bodying it over there in Laker world. But I guess it's just as open as the NBA's ever been. There's no real super teams going on, and it feels wide open, especially with that Steph Curry injury.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. The Warrior dynasty is definitely over, and I'm very interested in the NBA now because the last 2-3 years it's kind of turned me off because you kind of know what the final's going to be. Yeah, I guess the champion will change from time to time. Usually it was the Warriors. But now it's wide open, so anyone can win except the Knicks, unfortunately.
But it's like about how I say, it's baseball season until it's over. So for me, it's field hockey season until it's over. Then I'll worry about the NBA.
Yeah,
I want
to see
the season run out before I shift my focus.
Yeah, definitely. Game 7 was last night. You surprised by the ending?
No, I mean, who wants to see the Astros wins?
Well, I didn't ask you that. Are you surprised? No,
I'm not surprised because I expected them to lose because they're not winners. They can't finish it.
But I thought it was surprising how the road team won every single.
I'm surprised that Garrett Cole didn't come to the game at all.
I am shocked. Yeah, I don't know why he took Zach Greinke out. What, he gave up the homer and the walk, and then that was it. And if you're gonna take him out, why not put Cole in?
And if you're Bryce Harper somewhere right now,
oh my,
you're wiping your tears with the money. You got the money, you're happy. So I'm sure he's not that upset.
Yeah, he's probably sitting from the moon watching the game.
Yeah, but it's over now.
That's what it is.
I'm just glad the Astros didn't win.
I'm right there with you. I did not want the Astros to win. Who would want to see them win again? And they knocked out my Yankees. So let's go over the games one more time this week. Tonight, we have field hockey hosting William Patterson, the final NJAC game of the season. Nothing tomorrow. Saturday, volleyball doubleheader against Brooklyn and Misericordia. That's at 12 and 4. That's senior night or senior day. Tonight is senior night for field hockey. Friday, Kean hosts William Patterson. That's at 1 o'clock. That's also on KeanAthletics.com. Tuesday will be the quarterfinals for Kean when they host Rutgers Newark for women's volleyball. KeanAthletics.com. That's at 7:30 or 7 o'clock. Now I got to go all the way back in. I think I exited out of it. No, here it is. Nope, that's not it. I think it is at 7:30, but I'm not sure yet. There it is. Don't even have a time. So it's either at 7 or 7:30. And then Wednesday night, we don't have a time for this one yet, but it will be Kean and Rowan, 2 top 10 teams at Alumni Stadium. So that's your rundown for the week. Thanks again to women's tennis, men's soccer, my great partner Richard Zeller, Rob sitting right next to me from the CIS studios. We'll be back next week on the John and Rich Sports Show. Take it easy, everyone.